Look, there were a couple plays where we didn't come up with balls and didn't block a shot, and I looked at the guy, why didn't you get the ball? I tried. You tried? Why didn't you block that? Well, I tried. What? So we're in that mode right now where we think it's okay to try. Well, what about them? They tried harder. I know he tried harder than me, but I did try.
And that's what we do every week on the Red and Blue. Howie and I try to please Daryl. So that's why we've come to Memorial Coliseum, home of the University of Kentucky women's basketball program. And you can see all those banners hanging up there. Daryl Bird of the Cat's Paws joining us. And the men's basketball practice just let out a little while ago, Daryl, and we saw Ryan Harrow back.
Ryan Harrow
Breaking
is
news.
back. Big news for UK to have Ryan Harrow back. Been waiting on that. He's had some issues, and apparently he's over them. Cal said it was a really good workout for him. We'll see how it goes. And yes, after 3 trips to the Yum Center, we are in Memorial Coliseum. I've got the Kraft Center next door. Beyond that, the new Wildcat Coal Lodge. You couldn't be safer in your mama's arms right now than I feel right now.
Well, Daryl is one happy man. Howie, on the other hand, is not. It's been a terrible weekend for Louisville football, especially those who have wrists.
Oh my gosh, it's wrist apocalypse. I mean, that's what we're calling it this weekend. The 2 most popular folks on campus, Teddy Bridgewater, Gorgui Dieng, both out with wrist injuries. Something's going on. We've made the Mayans angry or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is. But Teddy Bridgewater, the toughness to come back, and of course Gorgui Dieng, we don't know how long he'll be out yet, but it's wrist apocalypse.
And I think there's not much that Daryl and Howie do agree on, but I think we all agree that we hate Duke. I mean,
yes.
Yeah. Unanimous in that. Yeah. We'll talk about that and other topics right now in our lightning round. The Lightning Round on the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, reminding you to click it or ticket. Now, Cal says that this basketball team, who plays just a little ways down the street from us, is his team. Now, that sounds like good news, but Cal says that's not good news.
We're getting better, but I kept telling them, right now, it's my team, and I don't want it to be my team. I want it to be their team. They don't talk enough. We don't huddle enough. We don't relay offense. You know, there were 2 or 3 plays out there. Guys didn't know what we were running because the other guys didn't relay the call. He called a play. One guy didn't hear it. The other guy heard it, didn't tell him. You relay a call. 2, we're running 2, guys. Everybody yells it. We're running 2, 2. We don't do that right now. We're into our own thing. And that's why I keep saying it's still my team, and I don't want it. Like, I want it to be their team. And this is going to take longer than last year, or, you know, may take as long as 2 years ago to get these guys to really understand what they have to do.
Exactly what we've talked about on this show before. This may be more like 2011. It's going to take a while. There's going to be some bumps in the road on this process. And the reason it's Cal's team, if it's not Cal's team, whose team is it? It's the point guards. Where's Ryan Harrow been?
Yeah.
They've been trying, Archie Goodwin's been trying to play point, trying to make shifts, so they haven't had a real point guard. And you can't have ownership of the team if you don't have that, so Cal's been stuck with it. Now comes the process. Can you get Harold back? He can take charge. It has helped Archie a lot. Maybe Archie can do it too. Then one of those two, somehow they'll eventually get there.
The big man on campus this week, the University of Louisville. Could be a lot of candidates, but we've settled on Russ Smith because if Russ scores, Louisville wins.
Russ is tremendous because he's unguardable. Now, the only thing he has to really improve on is blocking his guy out and getting loose rebounds and off-the-ball defense. He is always looking for the steal. I mean, always. I mean, you see his eyes get bigger and bigger and bigger as the guy's dribbling, and he's just his weak side defense. But Russ was the key to the team last year. If you take him out of the lineup last year, you don't win a Big East championship, you don't go to a Final Four.
That's absolutely correct. It's amazing as it sounds for a guy who's just kind of an add-in to that recruiting class. Louisville doesn't go to a Final Four. They don't win a Big East championship. They don't make it as far as they did in the Bahamas. And frankly, they would have been probably blown out against Duke without Gorgui Dieng, without Russ Smith. He's just so much fun to watch. I mean, within 30-second span, he's diving into the stands. He's getting a steal. He's going down. He's getting a dunk. He's everywhere. He's omnipresent. If you're an opposing guard, I can't imagine trying to bring the ball up against him. Phil Pressey, one of the best guards in the country, against Missouri's guard, all SEC probably, and he couldn't bring the ball up the court against Russ Smith. Russ just kept taking it.
Let me ask you a question. Does Russ shoot too much? Because I saw the stats going into the Duke game, and he's taken twice as many shots as the next Cardinal. Is he shooting too much?
That's going to be the debate this year, and I don't think that's going to be an easy answer because I think a lot of what Louisville does is predicated on Russ shooting. because, you know, Harrell can get rebounds, Bohannon can get rebounds, Gorgie can get rebounds and putbacks, and so he's the creator. I think Peyton Sieve is certainly the straw that stirs the drink, but, you know, Russ is the guy who's going to shoot.
Well, Russ can shoot, Kyle Wiltshire can shoot, and Kyle is the guy that's been busted several times the last few games because he can shoot. He just can't guard anybody.
They wanted Kyle, and I told Kyle, this isn't last year. If you want to be on that court, you got to guard somebody. They went at you every single time. If he doesn't guard, he's not playing. It's real simple. I mean, I told him, I said it to him in front of the team. If this is what other teams do to us, the minute I see it, if you don't stop the guy, do something to stop him, then you're out and I'll play Willie. And I love him. I told him after, Kyle, you know I love you, but you're not playing guard in that way. I'm just telling you right now.
I kind of like seeing this in the fact you've heard Calipari say over and over and over, I don't care how many stars are by your name. You don't play defense, you're not playing for me. Well, he's backed that up. You see, the Long Island game came out, he started Jared Polson instead of Kyle Wiltshire the second half. He said, well, we went with a smaller lineup. No, you said you wouldn't play Kyle if you didn't play defense, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, Daryl and I predicted who got busted this week was the Louisville football team. We predicted that Louisville would go undefeated in football. We thought they might lose to somebody, but UConn?
UConn, oh.
No, I didn't think we were flat. I mean, if you look at it, it was just we jumped out there and we get the ball and actually we kicked the ball off and we were able to get a stop. But if you look at us on defense, I think we ended up dropping 4 or 5 interceptions. We dropped the interception in overtime that would have ended the game too. So we had our chances, we had our opportunities, and we didn't take advantage of it. Good football teams in a situation like that take advantage, and we didn't.
You know, I love that quote. Good football teams take advantage of those situations. Louisville's not a good football team yet. I think they're a winning football team, but I think Charlie Strong has seen really good football. They're not there yet.
What's next for Kentucky is a new football coach. Joker has now finished his era as the head coach of the Cats. Daryl, what's next? Any idea about who Mitch is going to pick and when is he going to do his picking?
Athletic director Mitch Barnhart should be Congressman Mitch Barnhart. He actually addressed the media in Knoxville. 5 minutes, said absolutely nothing. Talked in one big circle. So we are no closer than knowing who it is than we were before the game. Butch Jones remains the big name out there, the Cincinnati coach. They play their final game this coming week. We'll see if anything happens then.
Well, what was nuts over the weekend, Howie alluded to it, the quarterback for the Cards, Teddy Bridgewater, broke his wrist and still played against UConn and nearly rallied them to the win.
Well, the leg injury is fine. I want to say that either he fractured or broke his wrist, but he was able to come back there the second half. We ended up casting the wrist, but it was on the non-throwing hand.
And I mean, if you see that he gets banged up like that and he goes back out there, that just let me know, I ain't got nothing to complain about. Because, if he could take hits like that and I can go out there and stop him for him and get him the ball back and just keep letting him do his thing out there.
You know, we've all heard the phrase that quarterbacks are prima donnas. You know, they in the NFL especially, they don't want them to get hit at all.
Right.
They don't want them to get hurt at all, that kind of thing. Teddy Bridgewater broke his wrist and came back and played.
Amazing.
It is absolutely amazing. And what does that tell every other player on the team? If your quarterback, your team leader, the guy who's, in all the papers, in all the magazines, he's got his, picture on all the billboards, if that guy breaks his wrist and comes back, if he's not too big to do that, it sends a message to everybody. And I think it sends a great message. The toughness that Teddy Bridgewater, I think we'll look back on this and say this is another chapter in the legend of Bridgewater because he's going to be a legend.
Well, Bridgewater came back and Ryan Harrell came back. As we mentioned, we saw him at practice here in Lexington just a short while ago, but the point guard job, at least for now, may belong to Archie Goodwin.
There's 4 or 5 plays he made where he tried to make the hardest play he can make, and those all led to turnovers. So the 3 turnovers he had were that. And I told him at the time, why would you do that? Just make an easy play. But he's learning, and I'm saying that when he goes 22, 9, and 9.
Would you rather play point from now on as you grow with it?
I wouldn't mind playing point. I love playing it right now. Things are going well for me at this position. But whatever happens in the future happens. I can't predict it, but if it's me playing point, then I'll be able to do it.
An awful lot of good things that happen when Archie Goodwin has the ball in his hand. And a great story coming up in this week's Cat's Paws is the fact that I talked to him about how he can drive, take the bump, and still score. He said, that's all from the rough streets of Little Rock. You don't call fouls, you either score or game goes on.
Yeah. Tell us what's coming up in the next edition of the Cat's Paws.
That story from him, all about the final game at Tennessee as well. coaching search, what's going on there, and then on into more basketball. Notre Dame's coming up, all at catspaws.com.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Buying your next VW from Bachman Volkswagen will be a great experience. No games or gimmicks, competitive prices, and a huge inventory make #1 Bachman the place to get your Volkswagen. The all-new 2012 Jetta, an IHS top safety pick, is a great vehicle and fun to drive. Or get the sporty all-new 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. It's back and better than ever. Come to #1 Bachman Volkswagen today to get your new Volkswagen before someone else does.
Bachman makes a difference.
If you're like me, you're dreading the thought of higher energy costs this season. That's why I call my friends at Doug Jones Home Improvement, who's been doing quality work at a fair price for over 40 years. Doug Jones Home Improvement offers maintenance-free replacement windows, insulated vinyl siding, and airtight entry doors. They're priced fairly with no high-pressure sales tactics or hidden fees. Doug Jones Home Improvement prides itself on keeping the weather outside while keeping you comfortable inside.
For a free estimate, call us at 366-0291.
I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Cal says he's sort of drawn a line in the sand with offensive rebounds. If it's 10's the minimum and over that, you guys have got to run. How much of a focus has that been?
That's a big focus, you know, and ain't nobody want to run here. So
I think we'd all agree with that. I don't think any of us want to run here. Welcome back to the Red and Blue Review. Matthew Mitchell is joining us here in this segment as we jump into our Game Time storylines. This portion of the Red and Blue Review is brought to you by the Kentucky State Police, reminding you as you travel here during the holiday season, please leave enough room for trucks out there. We don't want you to be in the wrong part of the news. We are here at the Memorial Coliseum where Matthew Mitchell, you just never seem to get beat here. I think, the last 3 years you've lost 2 games. That's it?
That's correct. That's correct. It's been a good run for us here in the Coliseum, and we think it's an exciting place. So much history in the building, and we really think it's a privilege to take the floor every time we have that chance. So we're excited about the progress we've made in Memorial Coliseum.
66-point win over USC Upstate. What'd you get out of a win like that, Matthew?
Well, you know, obviously we had a big advantage in the game talent-wise today, and I thought Upstate played really hard. What you have to do is you have to define some things that really show you what success is in a game like this. And a lot of that centers around our attitude, our effort, and our energy. And so there's ways that you can gauge that. Even if the score shows that you're really up big, you can still get some really valuable things. And they played us a lot of zone defense today, so we got to work on our zone offense. That we think we'll see a lot of that here pretty quickly. So a lot of good things happening in the game today.
Now, I did the game on Fox Sports, and it was such a blowout. We had to go to some of the things to fill a broadcast, and we reprised your dance at Blue Madness.
Sure that the ratings went through the roof.
I'm sure
once you did that.
Now, Matthew, you're really good at this. I know you try to, but you're really, it's very entertaining.
I don't know about that. Well, maybe it's entertaining, because it's something for people to laugh at, and it's comedy, but it's. You know what? We did a little something 3 years ago, and I had no idea it was going to become what it's become now. And so now, I guess I've always had a talent of making myself look silly. So now that's really what this has become, is just something that I end up looking silly doing. But the Big Blue Madness crowd seems to enjoy it, so it's been a lot of fun.
It is fun, and it's got to help you recruit kids. I've got to believe that people want to play for a guy that will make fun of himself like
I don't know if they do. It probably runs some recruits away from us. Like, I don't want to play with that crazy guy, but we just, that night is about celebrating the start of the season, and basketball is so important to all of us here in the Commonwealth. And so it's really a celebration. So we just want to go down and have some fun.
Yeah. Matthew, I wanted to hit on a big picture topic with you, because there was a time when you would look at the SEC and you say, there's no way Kentucky can climb that. Like Tennessee is there, Vandy was there, a lot of really good teams, but yet you've punched through that. How have you done that? What was the approach? Was there a culture change?
Well, there was a lot of sweat and a lot of effort given by a lot of really tough young women that just refused to be labeled as a team that couldn't get something done. And so, our first couple of years, we didn't feel like we had a lot of real positive momentum, but those kids worked really hard to try to help establish our culture. And then our third year, a team that was picked 11th in the SEC out of 12 teams ended up going to the Elite Eight, and that really started with a style of play change, and we started playing a lot more up-tempo out of necessity. And so we're real blessed, really thank the good Lord for giving us the strength to make the right decisions, and the strength for all the players to give all the effort, because it's been a lot of hard work that's gone into it.
Matthew, is there any part of the lessons you learned from elevating Kentucky in the SEC in basketball that translates to football as they try to rebuild football here?
Well, let me say this. I coached football in high school, so I know about as much as everybody else that is out there speculating about our football situation. Here's all I know, is that Kentucky is a tremendous place with tremendous passion from a group of people that love this university. And I think any time that you can get people excited about something and get everybody pulling in one direction, then great things are possible. So, I would say there is a parallel. There was not a lot of history here in women's basketball, and what we were able to do is get the right people in the right places to make the thing head in the right direction. I think it really comes down to what kind of people do you get involved, and I have every confidence that the right set of people can get us to a very successful place in football.
Matthew, the only setback this year for you has been the trip to Baylor, where you got beat by number one pretty handily. What positive came out of that trip down?
I would say it was more than pretty handily. I
was trying to be kind.
We need to come up with something that was more accurate, but it was the positive that comes from that was second game of the season against a really tough opponent that we didn't have a lot of familiarity with. And we thought we had a good plan, and obviously that was not a good plan. There were some effort issues, and then and that's on the players, and then there were some scheme issues, and that's on the coaches. So what you learn is you need to do a lot better in certain areas. There's certain things in a young season that you feel like you're getting better doing, and so you stay the course. You don't overreact, you don't underreact, you react appropriately. And I think that if we had the opportunity to play them again in the NCAA tournament, if we're fortunate enough to make the tournament, I would think that it would be nothing but a benefit that we'll draw from the next time. So
I see it the same. I see it more of as a positive. I know the score wouldn't say so, but the team was picked preseason, possible Final Four, and you say, all right, ladies, this team's going to be in the Final Four.
Right.
You want to get there? You close that gap. This is what you do from
that's part of it. I like to tell everybody that our plan for having Baylor underestimate us the next time
I like that.
Work to perfection. We work that plan to perfection, and so we'll see whatever we can get out of the game. I think our team in all seriousness, 2 or 3 weeks removed is much better, and we'll just keep trying to get better.
The next time you're in the national spotlight, with the exception of the Red Blue Review, obviously, is next week, a week from today, when you've got Louisville. How big will it be for you guys to win 2 in a row against your arch rivals?
Well, I think at this point in the season, for anybody that's playing and trying to develop their team, wins are very important. And I think it's a real testament to both programs that we're both ranked in the top 10. Coach Walls has done such an outstanding job with that program, and I feel like we are on a positive track here. So I'm just happy that it's a fun game. It's a game that people are going to be excited about. They really took it to us the last time over there, so we have to be ready to go and ready to play, because we know that'll be a tough game. But I think it's great for women's basketball in the Commonwealth that both programs are doing so well and have such talented players, and that people can show up there in Louisville in a week and really see a good basketball game.
Is the reason that game hasn't been close, it's either you guys winning in a blowout or Louisville winning in a blowout?
I think it's really just maybe an oddity that we won't see again. I don't know what's happened. I didn't expect any of those games to go the way they have the last 3 years, and they pose some great challenges for us. We certainly hope we can challenge them, and so I think it ought to be a heck of a basketball game. What a great environment they've created over there in the Yum Center. It is a really, really tough place to play, and we'll have to be ready and hitting on all cylinders to win that game.
All right, Matthew Mitchell, thanks for joining us here. We come back here on the Red and Blue Review. We're going to let Howie weigh in on the upcoming game between Louisville and Kentucky. But as we head to the break, he's going to tell us about CardinalSports.com.
Absolutely. CardinalSports.com, men's sports, women's sports, whatever. Be sure to check it out. We've got all the post-game reaction. We go into the locker room. We talk to the players afterwards. Watch those videos at CardinalSports.com.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Buying your next VW from Bachman Volkswagen will be a great experience. No games or gimmicks, competitive prices, and a huge inventory make #1 Bachman the place to get your Volkswagen. The all-new 2012 Jetta, an IHS top safety pick, is a great vehicle and fun to drive. Or get the sporty all-new 2012 Volkswagen Beetle. It's back and better than ever. Come to #1 Bachman Volkswagen today to get your new Volkswagen before someone else does.
Bachman makes a difference.
If you're like me, you're dreading the thought of higher energy costs this season. That's why I call my friends at Doug Jones Home Improvement, who's been doing quality work at a fair price for over 40 years. Doug Jones Home Improvement offers maintenance-free replacement windows, insulated vinyl siding, and airtight entry doors. They're priced fairly with no high-pressure sales tactics or hidden fees. Doug Jones Home Improvement prides itself on keeping the weather outside while keeping you comfortable inside.
For a free estimate, call us at 366-0291.
Yeah, I just picked her up. We should be there in 20 minutes.
Who is it? Oh, it's him. Where is he?
I know. Yeah, I know.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
Welcome back to the home of the Kentucky Wildcats. We're at Memorial Coliseum. This time next week, we will be at the Yum Center where the Kentucky women will take on the Louisville women in the renewal of that rivalry. One of the weirdest rivalries, as we just mentioned to Matthew Mitchell a little while ago, the last 4 or 5 games have all been blowouts. Yeah. One of the problems Kentucky's got to get solved is the point guard play. They're starting to get through that. That is not a problem, though, with Louisville, with Shoni Schimmel driving the Cardinal bus.
You know, she's going to sit there and make plays that, you know, you're going to be like, what kind of pass was that? But then she's going to come down the floor and make 3 or 4 that you're like, wow, that's unbelievable, you know, how she can see that. And that's one thing that, I told her when I recruited her, I'm not going to take that away. I'm not going to sit there and pull her back so much as she's thinking on the basketball floor. But
she's tremendous. When she's on, she's amazing. When she's off, it gets bad real quick. She's on the All Big East team, unanimous selection. She could also be on the All Frustration team because she can make some passes that you're just like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? But for Louisville to beat Kentucky, to beat that press, to get all the way through, it's got to be Shoni Schimmel. She is so incredibly talented. Louisville came back from Mexico undefeated, and it was because of Shoni Schimmel. She keyed all 3 runs that kind of put those games away.
Now let's talk a little bit about the football situation. Losing 2 games in the Big East, and honestly, it hasn't hurt you a bit. You still got a chance of getting to a BCS bowl game.
That's what's crazy. At 9-0, Louisville had to beat Rutgers to go to the BCS. At 9-2, they got to beat Rutgers to go to the BCS. That's really what it comes down to. It's crazy. But yeah, you beat Rutgers, and all the tiebreakers happen and all that kind of thing, and Louisville goes to the BCS.
Well, things are looking good on the men's side of things. If you think about this, the only 3 programs in America with the men and women ranked in the top 10, Kentucky, Louisville, and Duke. Oof. See you next time on Red and Blue.